Alright guys, it is Kieran from Red Devil Weekly and we are back to preview another Manchester United match, and tonight we're going to be previewing Arsenal versus Manchester United, another renewed rivalry in the space of a few weeks. We had Liverpool last week, this time it is Arsenal, and I'm not looking forward to this one. I usually say I'm looking forward to it, I'm really not looking forward to playing Arsenal. But before we get into it, please do hit that like button as always, subscribe to the channel as well if you are new, and also, as I said down there, you can follow us on Twitter if you haven't already, at Red Devil Weekly. On there is where I post out when I'm going live, and also just post content about Manchester United as well. So make sure you follow me on there at Red Devil Weekly if you haven't already. But let's get on it. Adam says, thanks for watching. He says, I thought I was watching Red Devil's studio video. Yeah, I thought I'd go in with a little bit of the countdown. Usually I don't, start with a countdown. Usually I just go straight into it. But I thought I may as well, try some things out. Why not? Friday afternoon, try some things out. And just thought I'd put in the countdown. So if you did think it improved it, then, let me know, hit that like button, and, I'll keep doing it. But I guess all it does, it just means I can, set myself up a little bit better for these streams and for these videos. So we might persist with it. We might go with it, who knows. But I just thought, just to spice it up a little bit, just to kind of change it around, I might just use the countdown thing. But, yeah, we're going to get into this. And if you're watching as a video as well, leave your thoughts in the comment section down below. Your predictions, really, is what I want to hear from you going into this game, because I think this is a very difficult one to predict. Even though Arsenal are the form team right now, we sit second in the table, 1 point behind Man City, who've got a game in hand over us, and that's why this game is even bigger than it would have been, because we lost that game against Sheffield United, and now we've lost that game, we've got a massive point to prove, and our bubble right now is burst. Our bubble right now is laid, smashed and broken in front of us, and we have to repair it somehow, and a big win against Arsenal really would do that. But as recent form suggests against Arsenal at the Emirates, it's not going to be an easy tie. It's not going to be easy at all. So, as I said, I'm not looking forward to it. It's never a comfortable watch, really, playing Arsenal at the Emirates. We've had some good games down the years, but realistically, right now, I'm not confident that we're going to go there and really stamp our authority on them. It could happen, but I'm just not confident that it is going to happen. Adam says, why do we have to play Arsenal? I'm not going to watch it. Oh, you got to watch it, mate. You got to be there for the ride. You got to be on the roller coaster for the ride. But, I'm definitely going to watch it, no doubt about it. It's just, I might be watching a little bit behind the sofa at times. But honestly, Arsenal for me are the hardest team, or one of the hardest teams Man United play in a season. It's one of the fixtures you always look at in the fixture list when they come out. It's a massive game of football, even though both of us English giants have kind of fallen a little bit in recent years. It's not the same game as it was maybe 7 or 8 years ago, but it's still got a lot of importance, still a lot of rivalry there, especially on social media. I mean, if one team loses, the other half will really let you know about it. So, for me, it's a massive, massive game, and that's why I really don't want to lose it. Brother Gaming, thanks for joining. Says, you live early, lad? I am live. I am live early, yep. Raymond also says, we need to win this match. Thanks for joining, Raymond. Always good to hear from you, my friend. Yeah, I'm live a bit early. Obviously, for you guys watching, you won't care, but obviously, I've gone live at 5 PM instead of the usual 9 PM. I've got a few other streams I'm going to be on tonight, so I decided to go live early, so that's what I'm going to be doing. And maybe, I might go live earlier in the future. Obviously, when I go live a bit later, it does mean that if the stream does go on, it starts to get a little bit late, so I might start going live a little bit earlier, so that might be better for you guys, and if it is, please do let me know. Matthew says, I fear this season is about to unravel somewhat. Thanks for joining, Matthew. Appreciate the optimism there. It could do. A loss to Arsenal in this game. Well, that would be a huge, huge blow. I mean, the Sheffield United game was a blow, but if we beat Arsenal, it's just a blip. But if we lose 2 games in a row, Man City have that game in hand, they win that game in hand, we could be looking at potentially being outside the top 4 very, very soon. And that hype train would well and truly have gone. So, for me, a win against Arsenal, or a positive result against Arsenal, is absolutely massive. And that's why it really is it's a game I'm not looking forward to, because there's loads on the line for Man United. And really for Arsenal, not as much is on the line. Yes, there's rivalry there, but realistically, most Arsenal fans, I would say, have kind of accepted the fact they're not going to finish in the top 4. Maybe even not in the top 6 if the form they keep going on, continues. So I think Arsenal fans, even though they'll really want to win this game, there's not as much pressure on them to win it. Whereas for us, there is there's huge pressure to win this game. Connor, thanks for joining Yank Talking Smack. Always good to hear from you. Make sure to check out Yank Talking Smack if you haven't already. Sure, he'll be coming out with a preview. Make sure you do check it out. Brilliant stuff on there. Owen says, always optimism. Yeah, I know. Connor says, last time we lost to Sheffield at home, we won the league. It's coming home. I love that. I love the parallels. But there is another parallel with us playing Arsenal. And that is the fact that the last time we lost in the league before Sheffield United was the Arsenal game. Obviously, that Sheffield United game meant, that defeat to Sheffield United has meant that bit of symmetry has gone down the toilet. But at the same time, the last time we lost in the league before Sheffield was the Arsenal game. And also, another bad omen is that Ole has yet to beat Mikel Arteta. And Mikel Arteta is the only manager that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has yet to beat. So there's some records there which can either be used as incentives or mind blocks. And I hope the players use it as an incentive. I think the players will know how frustrated the fan base was after that result. And I'm sure the players in the dressing room are going to be very, very frustrated after that Sheffield United result. And so they've just got to use it as an incentive. I think if they really, really want that league title, if they really think they can go for it, that's what they have to do. Championship winning teams go through these patches and seasons where they have a bit of a blip, they don't play that well, there's some shock results. If you think about all the times that Man United have won the league, and it's great to think about those times, but all the times Man United have won the league, there were definitely periods in our title challenges where we did lose the teams down the table, and it's about the character you have to come back and bounce back from it. So it's nothing new for Manchester United to lose these sort of games, but you have to bounce back from it. And it's about the character that we show. And I do feel like we have a difference in mentality than we've seen last season. But this Arsenal game is really going to have to prove that to me. If we can go to the Emirates and win at the Emirates the first time we beat Mikel Arteta's Arsenal, it'd be a massive achievement for us. It really, really would. Rich and Jamie have joined us. Thanks for joining. Rich says a must-win after the Sheffield United game. Could not agree more with you, Rich. And make sure to check out Rich Sports as well. It was on the preview there with two other Arsenal fans. Really, really enjoyed it. And I'm sure you'll enjoy watching it too. So make sure you check out the preview we did on Rich Sports' channel. Jamie's joined us as well. He says, if we play like we did against Sheffield United, Arsenal will stuff us. See where our mentality is again. 100% Jamie, 100%. If we play like we did against Sheffield United, it will be an absolute steamroll event for Arsenal, and it'll be very, very disappointing indeed. And I don't think I'll be on social media too much after the game because we know how Arsenal fans go about it on social media, and it's going to be for one team anyway. If they lose, it's going to be an absolute slaughterfest on social media. So I hope it's Arsenal for once, because the last few times it's been Man United fans getting it in the neck. So hopefully it's Arsenal fans this time. Owen says, De Gea disaster class swept under the carpet. Come on, how are we still talking about that? How are we still talking about the De Gea thing? Come on, mate. Listen, you can't blame De Gea for the fact we lost against Sheffield United. I'm not going to get into this now, but come on, Owen, you're ridiculous. You're ridiculous. He also says, I have a good feeling about this game, but I also have been saying this game screams of an L since the game came out. The thing is with omens and things like that is that if this was any normal season, I feel like omens would, be a lot more like valid to think about. But this season is just so unpredictable. It's so unpredictable. And who thought Burnley would be the first team to, end Liverpool's unbeaten streak at home? Who thought that Sheffield United were going to be the team that ended our unbeaten run in the league? These sort of results are popping up, and it's such an unpredictable league. So I'm not even going to focus on any of the omens. I'm not going to focus on who's the favourite, because in these sort of games, and really in most games in the Premier League so far, form just goes straight out of the window. It really, really does. Kobe, thanks for joining. He says, don't want to say it, but McFred needs to play. I think Ollie will agree with you, Kobe, and I think a lot of United fans will agree that that's what's going to happen. I think that's pretty obvious that in the kind of big games or in the games against the top six. I say top six when I'm talking about Arsenal because realistically they haven't been in the top six for 2 seasons. But whenever we play these big teams with quality, the McFred comes out all the times. And to be fair, it's hit and miss. Sometimes in big games it's done well. For example, the 0-0 Old Trafford. Yes, we didn't win that game, but I think to keep Man City to no goals scored, especially with the way they're playing right now, is an achievement. So the fact we did that, I think that definitely has had some success. But at the same time, in some other big games that we've lost, it's been pretty ineffective. So I think Solskjaer will go back to them. It seems that they're the trusty partnership, and we've got to hope they have a good game. Adam says, Kieran, I'm sad we play Arsenal and I don't have any Kinder Buenos. Mate, I'm sure the shops will have them. Obviously, you know, it's COVID, so you might have to just wear a mask and all that sort of stuff. But you can still go down to the shops, mate. I'm sure they're selling them. I'm sure they're not been discontinued because they're some cracking chocolate. Yeah, make sure you check out Yank Talking Smacks preview as well. Go over to his channel. Make sure you check it out if you haven't already. Jamie says, P.S. bring back the microphone. Listen, I'm always using the microphone, Jamie. I'm always using the microphone. I've just got it on a stand. But listen, yeah, as you guys who've watched the channel for a long time will know, I used to hold the microphone, you know, right up to my face like this. And I mean, obviously the sound quality might have been a little bit better, but it was a lot louder. So I thought I'll put it on a stand so that I can have my hands free like this. But yeah, Jamie, I'm always using that same microphone. I've ever since that video, I've always used the same microphone throughout. So don't worry about that. The microphone always remains. Always remains. Cody said, oh, sorry, you already said that. Brother Game says, if you come out, though, you have to move heaven and earth to get the ball. And he didn't, I'm afraid. Yeah, well, yeah, obviously the De Gea thing from the cross, obviously it wasn't his... He didn't cover himself in glory with that moment, but then you could argue that Billy Sharp did give him a little bit of a shove on his way into the goal. And obviously the Harry Maguire one that we scored got disallowed. Work that one out, ladies and gentlemen. A few predicted lineups coming in here. Connor says De Gea, Wan-Bissaka, Bailly, Maguire, Shaw, Fred, McTominay, Bruno, Rashford, Cavani, and Greenwood. That's probably pretty well the lineup I'd go with in terms of predicted lineup, I think. I think Connor's pretty well got it spot on there. Let's see what Jamie has to say. He goes with De Gea, Wan-Bissaka, Maguire, Lindelof, Shaw, Fred, McTominay, Rashford, Fernandes, Pogba, and Martial. As I said, I think the only difference, and the only thing I would agree with Connor on more with his lineup is just the Cavani thing. I think I would swap Cavani out for Martial, or vice versa, sorry. I'd swap Martial out for Cavani. I just feel like Martial, after his performance against Sheffield United, his confidence will be so low. And I think off the bench, he could offer us something because he is a quality player. It's just right now, he's been way off it. But I think we do look a lot better with Edison Cavani, and also in these big games as well. Cavani's a big game player. He's someone who has played in a lot of big occasions as striker throughout the years. So I would love to see Cavani play instead of Martial. But I do think Martial can offer us something off the bench potentially. But that's what I'd say, but everyone's got their own opinions. Owen says, Hendo, Wan-Bissaka, Maguire, Bailly, Shaw, Fred, McTominay, Pogba, Bruno, Cavani and Rashford. The only thing, I'd go with that. The only thing I wouldn't go with is obviously Dean Henderson in goal. I still think David De Gea is our best goalkeeper. I still think he's our number one. But I'm not saying Dean Henderson's a bad keeper. Dean Henderson is a decent keeper, and hopefully he continues to be that when he does get his chances. Kobe goes with De Gea, Wan-Bissaka, Maguire, Lindelof, Shaw, McFred, Pogba, Rashford, Bruno, and Cavani. Yeah, I think the thing is obviously Lindelof and Bailly is also a little bit of a debate. Solskjaer has confirmed that Eric Bailly will be travelling to London after his injury that kept him out of the game against Sheffield United on Wednesday night. But Lindelof, obviously, in his last few games has actually done alright. So that is going to be a bit, of a kind of selection dilemma for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. But I feel like, for me, I would still go Eric Bailly. I still think Eric Bailly is better than Mikel Lindelof. And if he is fit, 100% fit, I'd go with Eric Bailly. But if he's not 100% fit, I think we have to go with Victor Lindelof. Raymond says, excited to see what this Diallo kid has to offer us. News mentioned his debut. Yeah, he'll be making his debut in the under-23s this weekend against Liverpool. So I'm sure a lot of United fans' eyes will be glued on that. And I'm looking forward to seeing the highlights after that game because I don't have MUTV because I'm... Just again, I know people have been accusing me of it, but I don't get paid by the Glazers. They haven't given me a free MUTV subscription, so I don't have MUTV. Just to put that out there. So, for me, the highlights is where I'm going to have to see Amad Diallo, but I am looking forward to it. Jamie says, look, at least a few lineups at Arsenal under Ole. He's picked up pace, so tells me Martial will start at the number 9. Oh, he's picked pace, sorry, so tells me Martial will start at the 9. True, and I think counter-attacking wise, Arsenal do look a little bit weak on defending the counter-attack. When they lost that game 1-0 in the FA Cup against Southampton, they were so vulnerable on the counter-attack, and I feel like we've got better quality on the counter-attack. I've always said that on the counter-attack, we're one of the best teams in world football. So for me, if we can catch Arsenal on the counter-attack with our pace, we will score goals if we put the ball in the back of the net. And obviously that sounds a little bit like Michael Owen punditry, but it is what it is. If we finish, we will score goals. But in games we haven't been finishing recently, we haven't really been taking our chances. apart from obviously that game in the FA Cup against Liverpool. But apart from that, lately we have been missing quite a few opportunities. So hopefully we can turn that around against Arsenal. Kobe says, even if Diallo is bad, he can't be worse than Martial against Sheffield United. Yeah, that was a really poor performance, to be honest with you. And I hope he can get back into form. We know that Anthony Martial's a form player and he can really do a good job for us when he is on form. But I'm not sure the number 9's his position. I feel like he is a winger, realistically. I think he's much better coming in off the left and, kind of running at players. I feel like all the goals we've seen from Martial and all the great moments we've seen from him have been from him isolating fullbacks and running at them and, making them go backwards. So, it's one of those things where, Martial... Obviously, everyone talks about the ice in his veins, he's finishing, but I haven't really seen that this season. And maybe it's because he hasn't got in front of goal often enough. But, for me, Anthony Martial is better coming off the wing. Adam said there, Wan-Bissaka, Maguire, Partey, Shaw, McFred, Bruno Greenwood, Rashford, and Cavani. As I said, I'd probably go with that lineup as well, if Partey is 100% fit. Owen says, interested to see what Kieran's score prediction is, considering his conflict of interest, views or points. Yeah, I knew this was coming. As I said, I've already addressed that. I have no links with the Glazers, and I've never been paid by Manchester United Football Club. So that's it. I have no conflict of interest. What you hear is my genuine opinion, and that's that. I don't have to address that anymore. Obviously, schools and stuff is a mad situation with schools. Obviously, Adam's saying if school isn't open, it's closed. Very, very good observation, Adam. A very, very good observation, I'm sure. Did you do some research into that? That was fantastic. Yeah, if school isn't open, it is definitely closed. Yeah, obviously, I'm not going to... This channel's not really a political channel, to be honest with you, so we'll leave that one there. Jamie says, he has 5 goals all season, and he's been our number 9 most of the games. He needs a few goals to kick him on. Well, 100%. I think, we all know that Anthony Martial is a form player. 100%. When he's on form, when he is in the goals, he is a phantom menace. He's someone who really, really defenders don't want to play against. So, for me, Martial is someone who needs that bit of form, needs that bit of confidence, and a few goals would definitely do him the world of good. Whether he's going to get those few goals in the position, in the way he's playing, I'm not sure. Obviously, you say there he's played number 9 most of the games, got 5 goals all season. I think he prefers the number 9. Obviously, going back ages ago when he had Martial 9 on his kind of branding Instagram, and then obviously he got the number 11 shirt, and he wasn't very happy with that. So with Martial, he wants to be the striker and he needs to prove that. Obviously last season, towards the end of last season, we saw some brilliant form from Anthony Martial. In fact, arguably he was one of the main reasons why we actually got top 4 in the end. So we know how good a player he can be, and it's just frustrating that we're not getting the best out of Martial right now, but I'm hoping that sort of form can turn around very, very soon. Adam says, no, Kieran, just with your commentary. Oh, right. You literally said we were scoring for the... Oh, right, of course, my Mikel Owen punditry. Yeah, of course. No, I get it now, I get it. But... yeah, my lineup prediction, as I said, I think I may as well just put up one of the lineups I saw. I'm going to put up Adam's lineup here. Here's the first one I see. That's pretty well the lineup I'm going to go with De Gea, Wan-Bissaka, Maguire, Partey, Shaw, McFred, Bruno, Greenwood, Rashford, and Cavani. That's pretty well the predicted lineup that I'm going to go for in this one. I think he will play Cavani. I think he will play Cavani through the middle. I think Solskjaer will put Martial on the bench. I think as well, if Partey's fit, Partey will come back in. But obviously, Lindelof and Partey, again, are 2 interchangeable players. They're 2 players which, really, in a predicted 11, you could have either of them, and I think they'd be acceptable. And I think De Gea as well, starting goal for me. Wan-Bissaka. McFred's definitely going to come back in. Obviously, no Pogba starting, and I think because we have Matic and Fred in there, I just think either one of Pogba or Fernandes is going to start on the bench, and usually when we have McFred, it's always Fernandes starting with them. Maybe, on form, Pogba should be the one starting with them, but obviously right now Solskjaer does seem to have favourites, and Fernandes is 100% his favourite, but really we can't begrudge him too much considering how important Bruno Fernandes has been for us this season. Prakash has joined us. Prakash, great to hear from you, buddy. He says Martial plays for the team, which is one of the best fans. He was never seen enjoying on the pitch. He looks always dejected. Yeah, well, I think the thing is with Martial, that is one of the things that people always talk about, the fact he doesn't really smile and things like that, but realistically, we've seen how good Martial can be, and when you're on a bad run of form, you're not going to be happy. Simple as that. You're not going to be happy. And so it's good almost to see him, a bit disappointed and a bit, hungry to do better, because if he was really happy and he wasn't playing well, I guess a little part of you would be like, this isn't right. I know that sounds like Roy Keane talk, but you know what I mean. So, for me, I feel like, he's not going to be happy with the performances, but I hope he really turns it around, because we know how good of a player Martial can be. Kimberly, thanks for joining. Obviously a Liverpool fan. I know you knew you'd come back. Says beating Tottenham ain't for everyone. Yeah. Obviously a great result for Liverpool, not a great result for us. I was really hoping that Spurs could show up, and they just did not show up at all. Defensively, 3 gifts of goals for you guys as Liverpool. 3 absolute gifts of goals. But fair enough, Spurs didn't really show up too much. I think when Harry Kane came off, they just looked toothless up front, and I think they will look toothless for the next kind of 3 or 4 games, depending on how long Harry Kane is out. She also says the title challenge was good while it lasted. Yeah, for both of us. Yeah, well, I mean, listen, the season's still young. Even if Man City win their game in hand, they can only go 4 points clear of us, and obviously I don't see Man City really dropping too much points, but at the same time, the season is up and down. It's really unpredictable. So I would not write anyone off the title race until it's mathematically impossible. I mean, that's the craziness of this season. Adam says, Kieran, question, what should I have for takeaway? Go for a curry, mate. Go for a curry. Or I tell you what, it depends where you live. I'm not sure what places you have around where you live. I think potentially you could go for just go for a fish and chip or something. I mean, Friday fish and chips is always good. It's always a British staple, so you can go with that as well. But honestly, mate, your choice, whatever you fancy. Kimberly says, your fans are an absolute disgrace for the racial abuse, though. Yeah, well, listen, 100%. I mean, it was really disappointing to see, people giving Tuanzebe Martial the racist abuse after the game. It's hard to describe, really. It's one of those things where you almost don't want to talk about it too much, because it's just giving these people publicity. But it's really sad that people actually watching football take it to those sort of extremes. I feel like you have every right to be annoyed at someone's performance or critique their performance, but to really abuse them like that is just. It's just disgraceful, in my opinion. So, that is something which, I honestly, you can't condone it, really. And it's sad, really. It's sad. But yeah, hopefully none of that we can, stamp that out, and hopefully none of that happens again. But, the thing is with football is that, these sort of things continue to happen. Doesn't matter how many kick-out campaigns or anything like that happen, always just ends up coming back, and it's really, really frustrating to see, and just sad, really, from a footballing fan point of view. Leave a like as well if you aren't already. That'd be absolutely fantastic. Adam, fair play to you. 184 views on your latest video. Fair play to you, my friend. Keep the grind going. Keep the grind going. Kimberly says, damn, that beard coming through strong. A little bit. It's a little bit straggly, to be fair. As you can see, it's not exactly perfectly trimmed or anything, but I mean, obviously during this lockdown, I'm not going out too much, so I feel like why not try out a few looks? And obviously the beard look is what I'm going for right now. I'm trying to keep it a little bit trimmed so I don't have that neck beard. So hopefully we keep growing it out. But yeah, I'm glad someone's appreciating it. I'm going to get into my score prediction for the game, and you guys can give your score predictions as well in the live chat. As I said, I'm not looking forward to it. I don't think it's going to be a comfortable watch whatsoever. I feel like it's going to be just an end-to-end game. I feel like both sides won't want to lose, so I think they'll be a little bit cagey, but I do think the game will open up, and I'm not going to say it's going to be a high-scoring game. I don't think it will be, but I think there'll definitely be goals. I've seen some United fans being confident going into the game, but I've also seen some United fans being pessimistic, so I think right now it's probably about 50-50. So for me, I'm going to go with a 2-1 win to Manchester United. I think if we use the fact that we lost to Sheffield United as an incentive, we can really put a good performance in, and I think we'll beat Arsenal, because the quality we've got on our team is much better than theirs. Simple as that. It's the Bruno Fernandes conundrum. We have Bruno Fernandes and they don't. It's simple as that, really. So for me, we've got to win this game. It's a must-win, really, in terms of our title aspirations. A draw, in some ways, isn't the worst result. It's not the worst result, but still, it'll be a bit frustrating to go to Arsenal, a team which currently sit 10th in the table, and not get a win. It would be frustrating, and really, if we don't get a win, you could argue that is our title aspirations over. But as I said, in this season, it's so topsy-turvy, it's so unpredictable. Everyone's pretty well in it until the last game of the season. It's going to look like that. Smile, you're on the TV. Hey, how you doing? Hopefully I look good in over 180p, whatever it is, 1080p. Issa, thanks for joining. Good to hear from you, mate. He says, evening, mate. Now's not the time to think, it's done. Time to move on. Arsenal are in good form, but that shouldn't put us off. We have the quality. We have to show it. Exactly, Issa. I mean, this is what I said in my prediction just now. You know, we have the quality to beat Arsenal, no doubt about it. And realistically, you know, we've got to show it, and I think if we do show it, we'll win. But this is the same with every game we played. We know that we've got the quality. We know when you've got players like Bruno Fernandes, Paul Pogba, Rashford, Martial, Cavani, they're all match winners. And we have this level of match winners, and I don't think we've had this level of match winners for years and years. And if they do come off and they play to the best of their ability, I don't think there's any team that we can't beat in the world. I really think it stretches that far. But realistically, we've got to be clinical. We've got to take our chances. And that's what's been our downfall, really. And also poor defending at times. If we keep our defensive mistakes to a minimum, then I think we'll do well. And we have been doing recently up until Sheffield. Kimberly goes with a 0-0 draw, obviously from the neutral fan perspective. Goes with a 2-1 win to Manchester United. Jamie goes with a 1-1 conservative prediction there, but a few predictions of draws. And as I said, this is what I'm thinking, you know, Man United fans are half and half in my opinion in terms of optimistic versus pessimistic. And I think one prediction is a little bit of a safe prediction, really. It's kind of the prediction I make when I have no idea what's going to happen. But I don't like predicting United losses. I don't like doing that. I would never bet on you, won't predict United to lose. But to be honest, this game does have draw written all over it, to be honest. Both teams that won't want to lose. It's a big game as well. The Sky Sports are bigging up, and usually when that happens, it's always a ball draw. So I would not be surprised in the slightest if we got another one of those. Kimberly says, no Cavani, no Partey. I think for me, I agree, Cavani has to start over Martial. Martial was so poor in that game against Sheffield United. Just didn't look at it and didn't look like he wanted to be at it either. He really had a lacklustre performance for Manchester United, and it's kind of summed up his season for us this season. But it's frustrating, as I said, because we know the sort of player Martial can be. So that is something which you know, we've got to think about going forward. But Cavani, for me, really opens up space for the likes of Rashford and Greenwood as well. We saw in the game in the FA Cup against Liverpool, we won that game 3-2, and pretty well all three goals came from, you know, creating the space and manoeuvring the space. And Cavani, his movement is so good with you know, creating that space in behind for the likes of Rashford and Greenwood, because that's our strength. We have to play to our strength because we've got that pace in behind. And I think with Martial against Sheffield United, we never really seemed to exploit that space in behind. But unfortunately, you know, Martial didn't have the best of games, and it's frustrating, and we lost that game. But I feel like in these sort of games against teams like Arsenal, who do like to have a little bit of a high line, you know, we need to exploit that. Kimberly says, because Martial can't play as a lone striker to save his life. I mean, on the evidence of what we saw against Sheffield United, you're absolutely spot on. Adam says, oh, well, come on United, show that ugly teeth Gabon person how to score, El Matador. Well, listen, I wouldn't say ugly teeth Gabon person, to be honest, but I think we all know who you're referring to. But I wouldn't go that far. But he's a quality player. I mean, he's had some personal issues as well, so that's something that, you know, we've got to take into account. And obviously, it's great to see him back as a football fan. It's great to see that you know, everything seems to be all right, and he's back in training for Arsenal. Obviously, we hope he doesn't score, but you know, it's always good to see a you know, footballer kind of come out of dark times. But yeah, we all know who you're referring to, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. He loves a goal against Man United, especially at the Emirates. I think the last two times we played Arsenal at the Emirates, he's got on the score sheet and 2-0 wins for the home side. So that's something, again, I'm worried about. I really don't like going to the Emirates. I really don't like it. So yeah, for me, that's something we've got to just get over, the Emirates hoodoo, I would say. And also the Arteta Ole hoodoo, the fact that Ole is the only manager, or Arteta is the only manager that Ole hasn't beaten in his managerial career at Manchester United. again, you can use it as an incentive or you can use it as a mental block. And I think Ole won't be worrying too much about that. He'll be worrying about getting the result. And I think if he is worrying about those sort of statistics, then, I'm not hopeful, because in these sort of games, you just got to stick to the task. You just got to plan for, what the game, and I'm sure that's what they're doing, and I'm sure he's looking at really getting a big response out of those players, and I'd be a bit worried if he doesn't get a big response out of those players, especially after what we saw against Sheffield United. I think a few fireworks need to be lit under some people's arses after that game, I'm telling you. Matthew says, Kieran is desperate for lockdown to end, look at that Barnet. Oh, pot kettle, mate, pot kettle. But anyway, I don't think it's that bad. Obviously, it's not as bad as it was in the first lockdown. I'm sure if you've watched my videos from back then, you would have seen how terrible it was then. But luckily, I had a haircut just when I came back from university in December, so it hasn't grown as long as it did in the last lockdown when I waited, 2 or 3 months before I even get near a hairdresser's. So I don't think it's as bad. I think it is quite long on the top. It's starting to get a little bit bouncy, as you can see, but there you go. But everyone's desperate to lock down Friend for other reasons, really. Adam says, Kieran, your trim is alright, looking like a modern-day Rick Astley. Thanks, mate. Appreciate it, Adam. Appreciate it. That's the look I was going for. That's what I was going for, really. I was looking through the catalogue book and going, which 80s pop star do I want to look like? Rick Astley, there you go. So that's what I was doing, and that's what I was going for. But anyway, enough about that, enough about my hair. That shows how interesting this game's going to be, if this is what everyone's talking about. But yeah, that's my prediction. I feel like it's one of those things, if we turn up, we can get the job done. I feel like that's something which, we've said pretty well in every single preview we've had this season, that if we turn up, we'll win the game, because the quality we have, the players we've got, and the form we've been showing recently shows that if we turn up, we take our chances, we'll win the game. Again, it's a little bit like Mikel Arteta punditry, but it's so true. It's so true. So I'm not looking forward to watching the game, to be honest with you. I feel like it's going to be such a bad watch. I feel like it's going to be such a nervous watch for United fans, especially. I think Arsenal fans don't have as much pressure on them to win the game. But, if we do win the game, it'll be a huge victory, and also, hopefully, a start of another unbeaten run towards the end of the season. You've got to look at the fixtures as well. Man City have got a very tough February. I think they play Liverpool. I think they play Spurs as well. So they've got a tough February coming up. So if we can just hang in there, and, keep picking up wins here and there, stay in that kind of top 2 or 3, we could potentially go ahead of Man City, and we just need to take our chances to go ahead of them. Something which we've struggled to do throughout the course of not just this season, but also last season. So again, another mental block that we need to get over as a team. But, to win titles, that's what you've got to do. You've got to bounce back from these sort of situations. Do a music video if we win the league. Hey, I'm not going to commit to that sort of thing now. I'm not going to be tempted by that sort of thing. But who knows? I mean, if we do win the league, it'll be ridiculous, really, considering what a lot of United fans were saying about the club situation and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer in particular. So it'd just be amazing if we did, and who knows what sort of thing I'll do if we do that. Adam says, come on United, just win please. I think every United fan echoes your sentiment, Adam. I think every United fan echoes your sentiment. But I'm going to wrap up the stream very soon, so any last comments, please do get them in the live chat, and we'll be wrapping up very, very shortly, because I think we've talked through many of the talking points, really. The main talking points being, we need a win. Arsenal don't need the win as much as us, but it'd be a massive win for them. Their form recently defensively, they've got the second best defensive record in the Premier League, and they've been keeping clean sheets, which worries me, because that was the one thing about Arsenal that I thought we could exploit, the fact that their defence was really weak. But actually, recently they've been doing very, very well. And I think we just need to show up and be patient with our build-up play and use the space in behind. If we use the space in behind, there is no doubt we can win this game. But we need to take our chances as well. If Fernandes is on form, we usually win the game. And that old saying, of course, we have Fernandes and the other team doesn't. It's as simple as that. Football is a very, very simple game in that sense. Adam says Kieran's favourite sweets. You can't go wrong with a bit of just normal dairy milk, to be honest. I know it's boring, but you can't go wrong with a bit of dairy milk. I mean, it's probably the best selling chocolate for a reason. There's a reason behind it. So that's what I'll go with, to be honest with you. I would ask you guys what yours is, but I'm wrapping up the stream anyway. But if you want to put it in, feel free to do so. I'll look at it after. But Kimberly says, see you tomorrow after the draw. Thanks for joining, Kimberly. Appreciate it. And that's where I'll leave it. I'll leave it there. Seems like a good place to end it. But thank you very much to everyone who's watched tonight. Really do appreciate it. A bit earlier than usual. I've gone live tonight. So if you did find the earlier time a bit better for you, then please let me know in the comment section down below. Subscribe to the channel as well if you are new. Also, make sure you go check out all the channels that I've mentioned on the stream tonight. Rich Sports and Yank Talking Smack. Some great guys and a massive content as well, so make sure you check them out if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Leave your thoughts in the comment section down below, and thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.